If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.
Nico, I don't know if you were this disrespected the day after your 28th birthday, but we got in the car and I opened up. I was sitting in the passenger seat, so I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not breaking the law, but I opened up TikTok and all of a sudden, when you're chasing down 40 if you were born in 1997, like you're closer to 30 than you were 20. I was like, oh God, it was a day ago. Let me have at least a day where I don't have to worry about this.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jimmy P. Happy birthday, Jimmy P. Like I said, I was unfortunately up my ass with work yesterday, so I wasn't able to get the post out till late last night. But like I said, like I said in the tweet out, you're the engine that makes this show run, and I can't do the show without you, and I wouldn't be here without you. So thankful for you, and I know you had a low key birthday, and sometimes those are the fun ones. So glad you were able to celebrate. And like I said in the comments, give HBD Jimmy P out there if you're in the comment section. So.
And I got a nice new hat when they're
Love
good
it.
again.
That's a clean looking lid.
It has Houday on the side. It's got a little bit different of a color scheme. Shout out Dom and then my parents, Carly. We all went to dinner last night, just kind of hung out. That was all I really wanted to do. I'm also on fall break, so that doesn't hurt things. But I got a lot of work that I'm doing for the show. So
is nice. Must be nice.
Yeah, no, and I get to do extra work on the show when I don't have to work at school. So make sure you're following at FEOTB Pod and subscribe to the YouTube channel because we got shorts, we got clips, we got social media videos, posts. If you're watching the game, probably in the fourth quarter when we're done recording this, and I'm making sure that the stream is going well, I'll probably be tweeting about whether or not this is going well, but we'll see how things play out. Could I possibly get a birthday victory from the Cincinnati Bengals? It's up in the air. It's been there. They've done it before.
It is Shiesty Joe. I don't know if you call him Joe Shiesty. I think it's Shiesty Joe because Joe Shiesty means like actually good, and Shiesty means like I don't know if he's good, Joe. So there's Shiesty Joe and Joe Shiesty. Shiesty Joe and Joe Flacco against a division rival, the only team in the AFC North that he hasn't played for. Funny enough,
that he's very. He played against them a ton, and that's the other thing too. I forget he's very successful against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and like I said last week, the Bengals, when you give them that extra responsibility of if this guy gets touched, he's going to turn to dust. They were able to keep him upright. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. We have college football news. College football coaches continue to fall. It's almost incredible at this rate how quickly things are going. And instead of us talking about you and you losing your winning record, apparently now we're talking about you and you might lose your coach. So OU fans might not want to listen a little bit later on, but we'll talk about those things. Broncos. I texted you. I wasn't texting you in any other way too. Like I was sitting there as a true person watching that game. That was terrible, but I did see a lot of really good flashes towards that 2015. Like I think back to
we'll get into it later, but it was the best defensive football. It was also the best offense for your team. So that's what it was. So.
Yeah, no, and special teams needs to do a lot of work there. At FEOTB Pod, and make sure that everybody subscribe to the YouTube channel. James Franklin we no longer have to debate how long he has no more time. He's taking his $49 million buyout, his 104-45 record, and he is going probably going to be out for the rest of this season, but I'm sure he's going to be talked to.
I'd be very surprised if he didn't get another job somewhere else. The question whether or not is whether or not the question is not whether or not he will get a coaching job, it's whether or not he wants to take a coaching job, because it's very similar to Jimbo Fisher getting paid by Texas A&M. You just, no, I'm good. You want to fire me? I'll just get paid on the side. No, thank you. I'll take my money and sit at home and watch you shoot this program down the drain while I'm eating my popcorn.
Yeah, and it could also be a good situation too. A lot of the coaches in this spot, it's what Dan Mullen did, who's coaching UNLV, and UNLV had a huge shootout victory over Air Force on Friday, but Dan Mullen got fired from Florida, and then he went and he was on College Football Scoreboard, and it's media people know if you go into the desk position like what Urban Meyer does, he did it when he left Florida the first time before he got hired by Ohio State. You're always the smart one because you get to see everything. You get to tell everybody what they're doing wrong and how you can fix it. Some other team is going to go with that. And like, if you see it on the screen, if you're watching, 104 and 45. Now, 15 of those 45 losses are the versus ranked opponents or the games that would get this team over the hump. But this is a team, conference championship appearance last year, semifinal appearance in the first ever 12-team playoff. You have a winning record. You're undefeated at home in a whiteout game with a lead against Oregon 15 days before this happened. That's how quickly things change. And I put it in the description that people are seeing on YouTube. There's 2 days, 2 truths to the life of a coach: the day that you're hired and the day that you get fired. So I don't think that James Franklin's, there's probably a little bit of hard feelings, but I agree with you. He's probably going to figure out some way to get back in coaching. This is not his last.
And he's the type of coach that, like you said, I think that's a great comparison with Dan Mullen. Is like, I think if he takes a just spitting out of school like Oklahoma State, for instance, where he could play in the Big 12, where he gets a program that's been kind of beat up, and he plays in a weaker conference where there's maybe 1 or 2 premier teams as opposed to 5 ranked teams every single week in the Big 10, where he could get Oklahoma State to a playoff game again. And then we saw what he did in the playoffs against, like I said, lesser teams. So he could, like I said, he will land on his feet very, very quickly. The question is whether or not he wants to. And frankly, like I said, I don't think he has to. He doesn't need to at all. He doesn't have to. It's whether or not he loves to do it, and he frankly wants to do it. So.
Do you think there's a chance he goes because UCLA is probably going to interview now that he is available? Do you think that they're going to interview him for their vacancy? I feel like if you're going to do your due diligence as a program, whether you want to turn it over to Neuheisel and the guy that you have
also
right
Neuheisel,
now.
For those that aren't aware, is the OC.
Yeah, no,
he's not even the guy. But if people don't even.
If you have that much faith in the OC, you know that you need to keep this head coach around possibly, because who knows if this interim guy is going to keep him in that spot. UCLA probably still has a lot of work to do because they are also not a premier program, but they're probably going to interview and at least talk to James Franklin because you don't have to pay a ton of the salary. Penn State's going to be paying a lot of it.
I think if James Franklin was doing this, I don't think he'd go back to the Big Ten. I think that's the overarching thing, because let's be honest. I know we talked a lot of shit about Penn State and what they have and what they have at their disposal. They still have double what they have at their disposal at UCLA. If you're in California, you're going to USC or you're going to Oregon. UCLA is probably the 4th or 5th team that you even consider when it comes to football. Basketball, different conversation. But they've had good talent, right? They've had good talent come in. I just think that if he wants to be successful somewhere and not just be shelled for 3 years at UCLA, he'd probably go to a Big 12 school or even a new school in the Mountain West / Pac-12 now, like something like that, where he'd have a little bit more success, be under the radar, and just build the program up from the bottom up. Because look, that's what he did here. Yeah. Penn State, there's 0 to 9 what he did at Penn State. You could say he didn't do this in big games, didn't do anything. This program was further dead in the rights right now than they were when he first picked up the job.
Yeah,
they were dead. They were dead. He revived this program. Even though he wasn't able to get this team to the promised land, he revived it entirely from the depths of literal hell between the Sandusky and Paterno thing, and to a team that's finally respected and frankly a little bit of an underdog and fun team to be around, because you're like, oh, this team is kind of entertaining. They have great talent. They have the Barclays of the world. They have the Abdul Carters of the world, the Micah Parsons. They have good talent. You're like, oh, this team's kind of fun to watch. And then you, like I said, it's just like I said, it became his time. It just became his time and time for the program now that they built back up to. I'm not going to say to once they once were, because they're nowhere close to when Paterno was winning national championships.
One national championship.
Still, one national championship, more than half the programs in the country. Like, it's still a chance, an opportunity to be at a program that has some aura and some representation, that has had some success in the past years.
It is a school also that is putting the resources in the right areas. It's not just they're good at football. They're a school that has put the resources to be good at every sport that they have: volleyball, wrestling, basketball. They're not as good at basketball as the other sports, but they're competitive in pretty much everything that they do. So anybody who goes in there, I feel like they're going to take their due diligence and take their time. Well, I know that we were talking about Cignetti last week, but what I've seen number one on the list with a bullet because of the ties. He was a player there. He was a walk-on, but Matt Rule.
And then to second even that Rule is even saying on Pat McAfee's show today that I'm not fucking leaving. Like they literally did the Wolf of Wall Street thing.
When a college coach says that, Nico, you can take that with
a grain
of salt. I've told this story plenty of times. I walked into the meeting room 2 times in the same day, and the coach told me both times that day, I'm not going anywhere. Trust me. I'm here with you guys. I'm here to build this. We're in this together. Rah-roo. And then we get called back the 3rd time. And it was like he totally forgot the other 2 conversations. Like, hey, my buddy got the head coaching job at West Texas A&M, so I'm going to be leaving. Good luck to everybody. And I got to go catch a plane and go pack my bags to catch a plane and get the hell out of here.
But
I was like,
the problem with Penn State is what's showing on the screen is they're paying $49 million for him to not coach for the team. So do you really, in their thoughts, like, do you really think you're going to double the amount of money and pay Matt Rule that? Are you willing? Is the school willing to? That's the question. Because it's gonna take a fat contract to pry Matt Rule away from Nebraska. It's not going to be something similar to what Matt Rule currently has in Nebraska.
Nebraska looks really good too.
Actually, he'll be looking for a pay upgrade. So you're going to have to shovel over more money than what you're already buying out a coach for not playing for you. I think. In terms of like programs you look at, like Texas A&M is one to think about, obviously with Jimbo, like I talked about, and how they moved on from him, and they kind of just went under the radar with the coaching hire, right? Who's the guy? It's
Mike Elko.
Mike Elko, right? They went under to hire a guy that's not very well known, and a guy that frankly is building up a program from the ground up, and I think that's going to have to be what it is. They could look at another Penn State guy, the guy Manny Diaz who's at Duke right now, who was at Miami for those years.
I've heard his name. I heard Golish, the coach for South Florida, because that would be the other. That would be, you either look for a coordinator at a Power 5 or a head coach outside of the Power 5 that's shown he can be consistent. The head coach for Tulane, I can't think of his name right now, but that's another name that I've heard.
There's options out there. Like I said, I think if they're like I said, I think we could. I don't want to say we can rule out Cignetti and rule out Matt Rule, because Cignetti is a different position than Rule.
And Cignetti last season had his contract that they initially signed tore up, and they re-signed him to. So you're the mayor of Bloomington. You get anything that you want in Indiana. You don't have to pay for gas, and you can walk down the street and smack anybody in the face, and we have to say thank you, sir.
The only reason why I throw those 2 together is because those 2 are going to demand the most money out of all these people, and that's not obviously any slight to Matt Rule, but it's more of any slight to Cignetti. It's just that Matt Rule is a bigger name, and he's been around a little bit longer, and will be expecting a bigger payday because what his current contract is at Nebraska. So, and I mean, we could go through the rankings, because once we talk about, I think this is a good segue into Oklahoma. Now we could talk about the rankings of opening coaching positions. I don't know if Penn State's the hottest commodity. I think there could be an argument that they're the 3rd best opening still, not even the best opening job that will be available.
Well, I'm interested to see, what do you think is the best opening?
So the top 3, which I think we can rank out, top 3 if Oklahoma moves on from Venables, and I think everything is pointing towards. Everything's moving towards Florida, moving on from Napier. Those are the 3. I think those are the 3 premier ones. I would argue and say that, dare I say, Florida might be the best one. I that may sound weird, but Florida,
it should be, but that's been kind of where
it's been
coaches have gone to get stomped in the face.
But
like McElwain, after he had a good couple of years with CSU, went there and absolutely shat the bed.
It was horrible. I think they could get a big coach name, just throw out there, Lane Kiffin, or maybe if Dabo wants to move on, right? There's a couple names out there. If Clemson wants to move on from him, that could be 2 names. I think Florida would probably be number 1 because, like I said, I don't know. Oklahoma would be interesting, but I do think that Florida has still such a stranglehold on the state of Florida, and obviously they still competitive. So competitive with Miami, so competitive with Florida State. Even I said, going into those games against Florida State and Miami, we had a conversation being like, they can still beat them because of the talent they get from being those 5 stars in Florida, and how many 5-star recruits they can get from just the state of Florida alone. It's like an NCAA football on the play stage. It's like, oh, you're in the state of Florida. You're at a better chance of signing a 5-star guy because he's right down the street, as opposed to being in Wyoming, where you're not going to get the 5-star from Texas because there's no 5 stars in the state of Wyoming. I just the way it goes, and I think Florida will probably be number 1. I would argue and say that Penn State might be 2. I know it's weird to say Oklahoma, but Oklahoma has had a way worse tenure than Penn State has the last 4 or 5 years. I think, frankly, they've been lucky to Brett Venables has been able to push it behind bad recruiting classes. Because look at the Heisman quarterbacks they've had since Venables took over, and they still have not won a national championship.
Not since Venables.
Well, what was it, 21?
It was when Riley left. All the Heisman.
So they had Rattler. They had who obviously didn't do anything in South Carolina. They had Caleb Williams, who won a Heisman. They had Dylan Gabriel.
No, Caleb Williams left with Lincoln Riley.
No, but they had him for a year. He started for a year. So it was Rattler.
But as Venables as the DC. So that's the thing is Venables has never had anything on the offensive side of the football. That was all Lincoln Riley's success. He was successful as the defensive coordinator.
Into that conversation.
Dylan Gabriel, I guess, would be the guy. He's the most successful quarterback under Venables. But this weekend after the game, they were asking him about their offense that only scored 6 points, and he said something about the defense. Like, he is so totally closed-minded to an entire side of the football game that's why I feel like he's on the hottest seat of anybody, because if you look at that game, your defense sucked against an offense that has not looked good. I would argue
say Florida is a little bit hotter, but it's right. It's 1A, 1B. You're not wrong.
Just at this point, you were supposed to be this. You were 6th in the country. You're getting Superman back at the quarterback position, and that was probably a mistake. Now, looking back on it in hindsight, he wasn't making good decisions. You put Texas right back, like what you were saying last week. Now the path is laid out, and a lot of these teams, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. An injury happens 1 week in the college football season, and that team that you thought was going to be a bitch to play in 2 weeks is probably going to turn into a cupcake. And who knows? Now Texas can walk through and get 3 or 4 more ranked victories, and they're right back in the SEC championship picture, and it's all Oklahoma's fault. And if I'm Oklahoma sitting there knowing that I've set off this cataclysmic rise for my greatest arch rival in Texas, I'm probably firing the coach that has had 0 success in this time that we're going through.
And this is why last week I said Texas is still much alive. Because, like I said, all it took was 1 win over Oklahoma.
I didn't think they were going to get that win over Oklahoma.
And I think it's 2 weeks from now. Maybe it's next week. I can't remember. They play Georgia. They beat Georgia. They're a top 5 team again.
Georgia Ole Miss this weekend.
Georgia, they have games coming up where if they run the table, they'll be a top 5 team arguing for a bye in the first round of playoffs again, which is crazy to think about. But there's your SEC bias coming in, because if they get hot at the right time, they beat Oklahoma, they beat Georgia on the road, they get
Vandy at home, which would be a ranked victory. They get Georgia, they got to go to Georgia, and then the last game would be Texas A&M. But that would be your 5
wins. Yeah.
That would be 5 ranked victories, and you played the number 1 team in the country first week of the season.
What, 2 losses right now, or is it 3? I can't.
They have 2 losses right now.
So, and one of the losses is the number 1 team in the country, Ohio State, which is, like I said, the best loss in the country. There's no argument on that. And the second one was who was it again? It was a bad one.
It was Florida.
It was Florida. So and like I said, Florida has good talent, and it's an SEC in conference loss. So, like for a team that was unranked, weird going into this week, I think that was a little bit of a slap in the face that Sarkisian took that and said, "You really think we're this bad after 1 loss and losing to the best team in the country, which we could have very easily won, by the way, on the road week 1? Texas will come back with a vengeance to be just fine."
Yeah, I think they'll be in the pocket. I'm interested to see what happens. Vandy is interesting because Vandy is also, after losing to Bama, everybody's looking at them as a little bit of overrated, but that is a good trap spot because you're looking ahead to, if you prove yourself against Georgia, then Texas doesn't necessarily have to worry as much about that Texas A&M rivalry. What happened in the Big Ten is nothing short of, that's program shifting.
It's the biggest win in program history. That's not even a joke. I said this to Jeremy, who's an Indiana alum. I said, it's the biggest win of your program. He said, you're damn right it is. Yeah. It's on the road in a place that Oregon had like
18 home winning game, home winning streak.
18 game home winning streak. It's the biggest win in program history, and it's not even close.
It wasn't a 10-point. I know the score shows 10 points. Oregon got back in this game with a bad pick six from Mendoza, but the entirety of this game, Oregon was the one getting knocked backward. Yeah. Indiana had the dudes to continually knock Oregon backward. Dante Moore was under pressure the entire day, had 3 interceptions. This is a guy that everybody's talking about as the Heisman favorite, both of you and I included, as a guy that's in the top 3 at least, and he looked like he had never seen a defense like this. The defensive line has their hands up. They're knocking balls all over the place. Anytime Oregon is trying to drive down and have some sort of success to get back into this thing, it just goes in the opposite direction. Like Cignetti, I think if anybody listens to everybody and what they say, it's Cignetti. And I think last year.
He lets you know. He lets you know.
But last year he had to eat it because he knew, like, this is a great season. This is the best thing that they've ever done. But we did get our asses kicked in the 2 games that we had to play smart or better teams.
Oh, and then you get to a playoff game and get yourself embarrassed too in the first round. And then this is, like I said, last year was a year where Cignetti was reaping the rewards of some recruits, right? Like some young recruits, but mainly guys that were there already and a couple transfers. This year, it's his team entirely.
And he's a damn good coach when he has his team, and he's a coach that understands the value of style points. He's that coach that's just old school enough to remember the BCS era to realize that a 53-point victory over a ranked Illinois team and beating number 3 ranked Oregon as the 7th ranked team in the country. Now they move up to number 3. Those were 2 huge style point victories. You're already in the biggest football conference, and now the Big Ten has no choice but to advocate for you when it comes to this college football playoff selection. And you're going to be sitting there like, well, yeah, but you got to get the Hoosiers in there because the Hoosiers, the only loss that they had was the Big Ten championship game against Ohio State. So you know that they're going to be there.
They play Ohio State next week, or is it 2 weeks from now? I don't know. Look, even if they lose that game, they're going to be a top 10 ranked team. Like that's not like it's.
So they get. It's Michigan State this weekend, UCLA, Maryland, Penn State. So now they actually this broke.
They don't play Ohio State this year.
They don't play Ohio State this year. It broke the perfect way for them, where they miss all of because Penn State was, I guess, perfect or not. That actually changes things because that means they have to win this game last Saturday, or their argument for the playoffs is not totally shot, but it's more shot than it was.
Undefeated, just to a loss at Oregon would have still got him in the playoff. I think this now puts them in the conversation for a bye. But like a bye without even the Big Ten championship.
This is where being a nobody can say that this is a fluke anymore. This is not a cute story, and this is not just a good win for this program. This is a great win for anybody. I do think that Oregon did not play the best game.
Best win of the year from any team, literally any team in the country. I can't name outside of maybe the Ohio State versus Texas game. This is the best win of the season so far. This is the biggest, most impactful win of the season.
Does it take anything away from it for you that this was definitely not Oregon's best performance? And if Oregon plays better, there's a chance that this goes differently?
I mean, I think these 2 teams play each other again. I would be very hard-pressed to pick Indiana to win 2 in a row. I that's nothing against Indiana, but it's more kudos to how much Oregon has built up. Like look at what Oregon did the first game last year when they played Penn State. Right? They got their butts kicked. And then the Big Ten championship came, and they looked like an entirely different team the second time. Dan Lanning has done a great job at fixing mistakes and reading them into the media that he almost – it's almost – I think – not to say it's a good thing, but like I think this is going to help this team more than hurt. I think going undefeated in the Big Ten championship, and I think Oregon does play Ohio State, so that's the one that it's Oregon, not Indiana, that plays Ohio State. Like I think that's the one that like going into the game, they can still beat Ohio State and be a top 3 team in the country.
No, they play USC. That's the last.
This is why I don't understand college football schedule
because there's 16 teams in the conference and there's only 12 games in the season. Ohio State will play Penn State in 2 weeks. Penn State's the one that's screwing everything up. Oh, and we forgot to mention, by the way, Drew Aller is out for the entire rest of the season for Penn State with his injury. So Penn State was the team that everybody was using on their schedule as another ranked win, which is hilarious because Penn State gets beat by every single one of these teams. It's not a ranked win anymore, but that's the team that's throwing a wrench into all of it because that was the team everybody was trying to use as their benchmark.
And like we saw this with past coaches too. Like, this is not to say Penn State won't get one of these ranked wins coming up. I'll be honest with you, I would be very surprised if they didn't get one of them. Like they new coach comes in or a new coach on the staff that the guys love gets promoted, right? Backup quarterback comes in, backs against the wall, nothing to play for but pride. That's sometimes when a program can win a game they shouldn't. Like as weird as that sounds. So I mean, look, I think Oregon will be just fine. Backtrack to that conversation. Oregon will be just fine. I think Lanning will take that with a grain of salt. Not a great salt. I'll take it back with taking that full stride, being like, this is, you guys think you're that good, but look what just happened to you, kind of thing, and that could propel Oregon back into the national championship picture, which they haven't even left. To be honest with you, it just propelled another team with them. Like they're still in the picture. It's just another team. They allowed another team in the picture with them.
You've seen Talladega Nights. Slingshot engaged. My last thing for you, we used to do this when we were trying to come up with college football content, but we would do buy or sell. So I have a buy or sell for you. Buy or sell, is Bama fixed? Because they went into Missouri. Missouri is another team. They had a 14-game winning streak at home, even though they have construction going on in their stadium. They have Prbula. They were in a dogfight pretty much the entire time. And I think I agree with Kalen DeBoer from his post-game press conference. They had way too many opportunities to put that game away that they didn't take advantage of, but they did enough to win. And Bama is now 5-1. They have Georgia. They have Georgia past them now. They have Auburn ahead of them. They have Tennessee this weekend. But are you buying or selling that Bama is fixed now?
Like the program's back. Look,
they're gonna be in SEC title contention. We don't have to worry about them losing two more games.
I'll say that. I don't think they should be worried. I think they should be worried if they lose two more games. I'll say that. I don't think they're in the. They won't be in the SEC championship with two more losses. They will be lucky to be. They'll be a top 10 team, maybe 12th, but they'll be one of the last teams fighting for the playoffs if they lose two more times. And the reason why I say that is because they'd be a 3-loss team. So I wouldn't say they're fixed because I wouldn't say they're fixed and I wouldn't say they're dead. I think there's a couple things true here. One, Missouri hasn't beat Alabama since 1980-something. That's a real fact. 40 fucking years almost.
That's 50. A coach I think, too, can be on the move to one of these big programs. Drinkowitz could be – I think if Florida comes open, we could see Drinkowitz in Florida, but Drinkowitz will be probably moving from – Missouri.
Exactly. If you ever wants a shot at winning a national championship or in the playoff, Missouri ain't it, is all I'll say. But like they hadn't beat Alabama in 50 years. So that, frankly, like I said, I watched in that game thinking I don't even need to watch it because I know Alabama's going to win because it's been 50 years. And Missouri, as good as a team they have right now, they've had good talent over the years. They still have never been able to get over the hump.
They have the number one running back. I think he averages 60 yards a carry after contact per game. That dude is Ahmad Hardy is a stud. And they held in for a long time. The defense made Alabama's offense look human at times, but I don't understand because Missouri's been in the SEC long enough. They should have built up a roster to the point where you have the reserves. I get it. I understand why, but that's the argument. You've been in this conference that's had all of this success. You have the money and resources to be able to build up these programs that can compete and have the waves to go. That looked like a Pac-12 or a Pac-10 team from the day trying to go out to Alabama and play in the SEC. That just looked like a high school team trying to play against a college team.
Yeah, it just was it was a unbearing of riches that Alabama has over Missouri. To answer your question, I'm selling Bama being fixed because until they go through Tennessee, until they go through Georgia, and what'd you say? A&M is the last one.
They went through Georgia already. They beat those.
They did.
So it's Tennessee, Auburn at the end of the.
Yes, Tennessee, Auburn, and there's one more ranked opponent. I can't remember who it is.
I don't think it's Ole Miss.
I don't know. They have to go through all those teams to say they're totally fixed.
Oklahoma.
And
LSU. That's
okay. I'll say if they get through Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn without a skate, then yes, I will say they're fixed and that they're back. Because the reason why I say they're not fixed right now is because Alabama's standard is so unbelievably high that I don't think that they're happy with the way they're playing yet. That's the thing is I don't think they're happy with the results they're getting. I don't think they're happy with the results this weekend. I don't think they're happy with results against Georgia because the standard is so unbelievably high at Alabama. It's a different world. So that's why I go with sell it being fixed.
All right. I think that's a good enough place to leave college football. We're over halfway in the season, and it's going to be exciting. I've been hammering playing college football 26. Everybody's been enjoying the Rise of the Roadrunner series, so make sure you continue to check out those things and all the videos that we have coming out with that. Let's talk NFL football, and I'm throwing it in here quickly because it's on in the background. I've been watching kind of the pregame show with the sound off. We're recording this, and then it's going to go live while the game is going on, but before kickoff happens, and I didn't pay attention. Did you put this game on your pick'em this week, or did you? I was gonna say
I stayed away. I one because we were recording during it, and I don't like to not be able to pay attention to a game I pick and don't pick. But also, I don't know why this.
There's a lot. So as a gambler, there's a lot that you should. Yeah. And the Steelers, as a gambler, don't do well on the road on Thursday Night Football. Flacco does really well against the Steelers in his career.
Jimmy.
That was the title of the video. It's something about Flacco. I just can't put my finger on it.
No, I can't.
6'6" quarterback. He sits in the pocket.
Exactly. Sits in the pocket. I can't put my finger on it. But something about him, I can't. I don't know what it is. Same about this boy named Scatterboo. Something about him. I don't know what it is. But
can't spell Scatterboo without CTE.
Don't know what it means. I don't know. Something I can't put my tongue around. Why I like those dudes so much and have so much faith in them. I don't know what it is. Maybe you have the answer to that, or we might get canceled. So maybe we'll stop on that point.
Yeah. No, I'll leave it. I'll leave that.
Look, jokes aside, Flacco almost had them come back against Green Bay last week.
That's what I'm saying. No, if you can keep him upright, he has never. I know that's big if, but he's never had a receiver the level of the receivers that he has now. And that was a lot of fun because those guys can run and get open. And then you got T. Higgins just running a comeback route with 3 yards of separation, and the ball gets rifled directly into his chest.
A very accurate thrower that can bomb the ball down the field.
And he reads defenses. He reads zone coverages. He's not going to throw it to the other team.
It's like, oh my gosh, a guy can get me the ball. The problem with Joe Flacco is that you have to keep him upright, and he's not escaping the pocket.
No.
So there's
no.
You and I can track. Like I said, we said this last week or two. So you and I can track him down.
Nico, tell me the year he was drafted. Without looking it up, tell me the year he was drafted.
I'll
give you reference.
I think it was the Matt Ryan draft. Am I correct?
I think so, but I'll give you reference. Rodgers was in 05.
I think it was before Rodgers. I think it was before. I know it was before.
It was after Rodgers. Rodgers was in 05.
More recent than
yes.
Rodgers. That's what I was trying to mean. I would shoot for. I'm between 2007 and 2009. I'll go 2007.
It's 2008.
Oh, fudge! Right in between. Gosh dang it.
Yep,
I knew that was the Matt Ryan draft, right?
I believe so. I'll get double confirmation on that. But it's 2008 was the year that Joe Flacco was drafted, and he has been playing pocket passer quarterback ever since. By the way, Super Bowl MVP, has a Super Bowl ring. You can say what you wanted. It was over 10 years ago. No, look at me. I'm not defending.
I know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going against you right now. I'm just putting in anecdotes to add into that, all that.
No, but I do think it was Matt Ryan and Joe. I think that right now we got to do what we got to do.
Oh,
and Shiesty's going to be on the sideline.
Flacco went to college?
Yeah. Yes, I do. He was a Delaware Fighting Blue Hen. Delaware Fighting Blue Hen. By the way, I have Aaron Rodgers in my fantasy lineup. I just felt like I had to get that off my chest because it's a little bit slimy. But of course, I have him in my fantasy lineup, and I have Kenny Gainwell in my fantasy lineup right now too, because he's going to drop 30 against this shitty ass Bengals run defense. Oh, and by the way, Nico, I saw this as I turned on the pregame show tonight. We sat down Cam Taylor-Britt for non-football related issues. So we're starting to bench people for attitude problems.
I would have never guessed that Cameron Taylor-Britt had attitude problems.
But why now?
I mean, exactly. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure his ankles are still planted on the 40-yard line at Mile High Stadium. We haven't played at home since then. So I know that they're sitting there still. So if he just give him a call, let's see if he wants his ankles back with the attitude problem, because we can help him out.
Flacco and Matt Ryan were in the same draft class, by the way, so I did get confirmation on that. I'm just sitting here and hoping. If I can hope for anything, they look good in their. I hope that they continue to look good in their all-white uniforms, because they're wearing their all-white uniforms tonight on Thursday Night Football. If Joe Flacco can make this team just entertaining, where I have a ton of points to watch, because I know this defense. I know this defense. And since 9 is not back there, I'm not expecting to score 45 when we give up 40. But if you score 28.
If you turn the 6 in Joe Flacco upside down and replace the 1, it kind of looks like Joe Burrow.
If you look at him from behind, with your eyes closed and you get hit in the back of the head with a 2x4, Joe Flacco and Joe Burrow kind of look a little bit similar.
If we had a bingo card before the NFL season, NBA season, NHL season happened, if either of us put Joe Flacco starting a football game for either of our teams, I think we would have thrown a riot.
I think that this is as crazy. This is when Westbrook got signed to Denver, because Westbrook was always on teams that Denver played against, and Flacco was on the Ravens and Colts and teams that the Bengals played against. And now I'm sitting here like, hey, but I know that the team around him is
kind of risky, kind of fun.
Maybe his attitude is okay. Maybe his attitude was just bad when he wasn't here. Maybe we're the ones that are gonna fix him. Oh shit, I sound like somebody who should get out of.
But the difference between the two is that Russell Westbrook was 35 and Joe Flacco was 41 years old. Like I think that's the difference between that's the difference between them two is. I don't know. I'm sorry that I'm using myself, but here you convince yourself of Joe Flacco in the year of Lord and Savior 2025 and be like, he can win his football game, maybe, and sit there and be like, and honestly be sitting here being like, you're not wrong. Like that's weird.
Gambling wise, it makes sense. Wrong. Gambling wise, NFL weird wise, it makes sense. No, but this is what it will come back to.
I can gamble now that I'm not in the regular season. I took the plus 14.5 last week.
It's a lot of points.
It was a lot of points for Flacco. It was.
And he likes to cover. I know that he likes to cover spreads. The best thing that I saw was the meme because Burrow's on the sidelines. But the offensive line, the Cincinnati offensive line, showed up to Joe Burrow's PT appointment to show him that they got his back and they're there with him. TJ Watt promptly showed up a few seconds later and sacked him again. So I'm sitting there looking at the AI memes and the AI videos of old man Rivers, Joe Flacco's, who they say gonna beat them Bengals? We're so fucked. Like, yep. I'm relying on the old man from Up to save my season and possibly give this moody mid-20s.
Who's the little guy? Who was Chase Brown?
Chase Brown. I am your wilderness explorer.
Oh my gosh.
My name is Russell. I am your wilderness explorer. Can I help you cross the line of scrimmage?
That is Chase Brown sitting in the backfield with Joe Flacco.
Can I block this guy from your face so you can throw it to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase? Okay.
So good. And at the same time, we're sitting here being like, "Oh, maybe they can beat Pittsburgh." That's how crazy Joe Flacco is. Because Joe Flacco does give you a better chance of winning this football game than Jake Browning does.
And here's the other thing about it: I know that it's Aaron Rodgers, but it's not Ben Roethlisberger. I grew up as a Bengals fan in the prime of Ben Roethlisberger owning the Cincinnati Bengals. So now that it's not him, I can sit there and relatively convince myself that we have a fighting chance in pretty much every shot.
I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers has played well. I mean, like, it's crazy what happens.
I'm hoping for a 25-point performance for him tonight.
It's crazy what happens when guys leave the New York Jets. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Speaking of the Jets,
let me say, hold on. I do this every time. Jets sucks still. Thank you, Tom.
Nico, this is the worst matchup. So you know this saying, styles make fights. These two styles suck. This is like watching
I hope if you're a football fan, I hope you slept in and didn't even. I woke up. I woke up 7:30. Watched
This
it.
is like watching a jiu-jitsu guy trying to lay down on his back against a pure boxer that's not going to go anywhere near him.
It's watching two Dagestani wrestlers that aren't trying to knock each other out and just get positions. Obviously, it's entertaining for you.
Punt.
Oh my God, what a hideous football game! And
every single time they play.
Let me clarify this: hideous on one side of on every part of the football game except one side of the ball. Every part of the football game was hideous outside of one side of the ball. Jimmy, do you know what the net passing yards for Justin Fields were?
-10.
-10. That's
First time since 1962 that it was -10.
Which for those who are like, how did he get -10? Sacks are going against passing yards.
9 sacks as a unit. The Broncos have 30 through 6 games.
You know who's the second most?
20. Yeah, the Steelers are 20.
20. This is, oh my God. I sit here and I'm just like, God, if we could put a halfway good product of offense on the field, we could be the best team in the NFL.
I'm this close to start talking about Sean Payton and start second guessing some of his coaching decisions.
I'll second down it. I think Davis Webb should be calling plays.
Something. You got to change something because what you just did was god awful. You turtled. You turtled. You should have lost that game because you went in the second half. You went into playing not to lose and just hopefully the defense is going to win us this game.
You
should not be. Yes, no, it did, and you got lucky with this one. But you should not be relying on your defense to get back-to-back sacks because you gave up the football at your own 45-yard line to knock the other team out of field goal range. Like, that's not what you need to be relying on. You are Sean Payton, an offensive guru. I hope he's listening to this. I know, Sean, you're a big-time benchwarmer, and you've been tuning in for the last 5 years, but you are an offensive genius. You either got to figure it out or you got to turn it over to somebody who can because Bo looked good in the first half. They scored 10 points in the first half. They had the ability to move the football. Bo Nix had 0 passing yards in the third quarter. So as bad as Justin Fields looked passing the football, but it wasn't like it was a masterclass going on the other side.
So, I mean, it's like I said, against any competent football team, I will say this, against any competent football team, you would have lost that football game. There's only 2 franchises in the world you lose that game to or win that game against. It's the Jets and the Browns. That's literally it. Everybody else you lose that game to, literally.
Possibly the Bengals.
Without Burrow, yeah. But
without Burrow, yes, possibly.
There's only a handful of teams you would beat winning that type of game.
Miami.
No, Miami, even like as bad as they are, they're not Jets level of dog shit. Okay, they're like the Dolphins made playoffs a couple years ago. The Jets, I can just replay the hits of what I've been saying every year.
I know, and I'm not going to defend the Jets in any facet, but they did play.
You can't defend them. That's the thing. How do you defend them?
They didn't give up.
There's no way of defending them.
They didn't give up. Their offensive line could not block.
There you go. That's
exactly,
that's so cool.
Exactly. And I said last week when we were talking about the Bengals. No, it was 2 weeks ago when we were talking about the Bengals on Monday Night Football, and they admitted in the media meetings like, "Oh, well, we were just hoping to keep it close and then have a chance to kick a field goal at the end." It's like that's not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy. The Jets' strategy of just being able to keep things close and possibly rely on it's not good. You can't do it.
I don't understand. I really don't understand how the Jets can be this bad for so long. Frankly, look at their roster. This isn't the worst roster in the NFL.
Their defense is good.
Defense is very good, by the way. Sauce Gardner, really good. Quinn Williams are one of the best D tackles in football, right? Breece Hall, really good running back.
Linebacker. Breece Hall is really good. Breece Hall is probably going to be traded soon. Garrett Wilson.
Very good as well. Justin Fields has not been the worst quarterback.
Hold on, Nico. Hold on. Can we, before we go further in this, can we talk about the clock management at the end of the second half?
Oh my God, Aaron Glenn
end of the first half.
Fired on the sideline. I don't know what Aaron Glenn was thinking. There's a couple. There is a reason why the Broncos didn't call that timeout.
No,
the Jets,
I know.
However, have no reason. There is zero reason.
Remember last year when we were talking about the Thanksgiving game with Eberflus? It's real simple. One of these. Hit him with a T. Give him a technical.
And by the way, if an assistant coach on the sideline yells at the coach, call a timeout, and the referee looks over and he nods his head, you don't even have to say anything. He calls it.
Yeah, anybody on the field can look at the referee and go like this, and
just stop the clock.
So it's on Glenn, it's on Justin Fields, it's on the offensive coordinator, it's on the defensive coordinator, it's on the running back, it's on the receivers, it's on the offensive line. The Jets just were. I've not seen a team more miserable than what I saw the New York Jets offensive unit look like. Like, I've been on teams that looked that miserable that I was a part of.
Horrible. They didn't look that bad. That's how like the Broncos offense is horrible.
The Broncos offense was horrible because Parrott, and by the way, Parrott is out this week, so we're not going to have to worry about whether or not he's playing left guard
this week again. So I don't know.
Chesky's, I think, is better than Parrott, but Parrott was not good.
No, he wasn't. He was horrible. I think the only reason why they didn't put Palczewski because they like to use him as an extra line tight end. So they'll probably move him back to the inside this week. I sat there being like, you know what, we suck at offense, but thank God I'm not a Jets fan. I don't. There's Jets fans have to be basketball fans also. Like they have to have another team. Like there's no way there's not a single Jets fan. The Knicks. They have to like the Yankees, maybe. They got to be Mets fans or something. Rangers, maybe.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse. The Islanders. Islanders are already talking about #1 overall pick next year.
I know, but the Islanders are better off than the Jets are, and that's not saying a lot. It's the worst franchise in sports.
Here's my question: Are the Jets worse off than the Buffalo Sabres?
Not even close. Because frankly, Buffalo could.
I saw Buffalo get beat 7-2 last night against Chicago.
That's fair, but Buffalo could.
Or no, never mind. That was St. Louis.
Could get the #1 overall pick. Could get a new coach, and they could be in playoff contention. The Jets could get the #1 overall pick, new head coach, and still be the worst team in the NFL. Right?
Right now, I'm competing with them for possibly the #1 overall pick.
Let's talk about the worst franchise in sports. The Jets are #1. I don't think it's arguable.
The Rockies.
The Rockies are in the top 5. I think that's pretty easy too. Rockies are top 5, but frankly, no one cares.
Buffalo's in the top 5. Buffalo Sabres.
Sabres are probably up there. You could probably throw the Washington Wizards up there for basketball.
And
you
used to be able to put the Commander. Yeah, Charlotte too, but you used to be able to put the Commanders.
Commanders have worked their way out of it because
Oakland Athletics.
Athletics are there, yes, but they also were a little bit frisky this past year. More than the Jets have ever been in my lifetime.
I just feel like they're going to, wherever they go, it's not like the city. If the city embraces, I feel like I shouldn't say this. I sometimes think humans are more altruistic than they ought to be, but wherever that team lands, that city's going to take them and embrace them just like Baltimore did with the Browns history. You realize that the Ravens franchise just absorbed all of that external Browns history, and the Browns have been dog shit ever since the day they came back. So here we go, Big Wit. Big Wit.
Like I said, I hate it more than anything that the Broncos barely beat the Jets because, frankly, like I said, the Jets are the worst team in the NFL by far and away. I will say that over any team. I frankly think they're a betting underdog against every team in the NFL. I'll take the Panthers who are 2-3. I'll take the 1-5 Ravens with Cooper Rush. I'll take Joe Flacco and the Bengals over them. I would take all of them. I would take everybody over them. They're the worst team in football, and we'll have the #1 pick. What's frustrating as a Broncos fan is because two things are true. One, I have confidence this team could beat anybody because of how good their defense is. I also don't have any confidence in this team beating everybody, right? It's the good with the shit.
You have the ability to fight evereverybody, but you don't know if you're gonna have the skill to back it up every day.
I have as much confidence as the Broncos winning against the Eagles as much low or least or what's not less confidence. What's the opposite of confidence?
Fear.
The most fear I have of losing to the Jets. I have the most confidence in the Broncos beating the Eagles as I did fear losing to the Jets going this past weekend. And that's the worst part about this team.
You know who they are? They're Rocky because they're going to get the shit. He's getting killed out there. No, he's not getting killed. He's getting mad. He's got to get hit like through the first 15 rounds of the season. Think back. Here's the thing. everybody that overreacted in Broncos country and everybody that I listened to on the Fan, because I like to listen to 104.3. Nico's a 92.5 guy. That's kind of like the two separate sports entities that are out here. But everybody that's overreacting, think back to the first month of the season last year. Up until Tampa, Bo Nix didn't throw a touchdown pass and looked like he did not know how to play quarterback, and we drafted Drew Lock 2.0.
Yeah.
So with everything that's happened and all of the shit that you want to say about the sky falling, and we should have kept Russ even though he dirted the one pass and told. But there's a lot of people that still say those things.
We know who it is.
He dirted the pass in the Sunday Night Football game, and then made Daboll go pull Jackson Dart, getting the concussion test, like with the concussions. Like, hey, you better get your ass back on the field, buddy.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I want to talk about the Giants here in a second because I think they deserve our conversation.
Oh, we'll get to them, yeah.
But I like I said, this team plays to its level of competition every single week, and that's the worst thing about it. It's like I said, I have confidence that this team can go into Philly and possibly shock the team. I have a confidence that, frankly, there's not a team, because I think this year we could have this conversation too. Like who's the best team in the NFL right now? The Bills have lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
The Eagles have lost 2 in a row.
Right. Honestly, you know who I'd say right now? It's Tampa Bay.
Exactly. That's the only one. And frankly, do we I could.
But honestly, Tampa Bay for the last 2 minutes of the game. Tampa Bay the last 2 minutes of the game only, because in the first 3 quarters, it's really up and down just like the rest of the league. Right now? Indianapolis?
No. That's Kansas City.
Yeah,
that's the only team. That's the only team.
They're back.
It's the only team that scares anybody.
It's a good thing that it's October. Ready? Are you ready? Dun, 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 dun. It's the Halloween theme. Michael Myers has returned, bitch.
It's the only team that scares anybody worth anything right now in the NFL.
The AFC West had a damn good weekend, Nico. Good weekend. Great weekend. Oh, DK Metcalf with a deep shot. Ugh.
Oh, good. I have him starting. I love that. Love him for that.
It's good for my fantasy team, but come on. We got to cover somebody, please.
Or the spread. Maybe not somebody, but the spread would be nice.
The defense has to cover somebody to cover the spread. No, but the Chiefs are back. The Chargers got to win because the Dolphins
they got lucky.
They got very lucky. I have totally. I mean, I think I keep them. So I'm going to keep them in my pick'em rotation. I'm not totally disbarring them from the pick'em for the rest of the season, like I said last week, but it's on thin ice. Like, I am shaky about that. They don't have blind confidence anymore. The team that does have blind confidence now, especially because Rashee Rice returns this week, whether you agree with that or disagree with that or what you want to say, but he is going to be back. I don't understand how people can be so tone deaf. Like, I get that nobody gets taught these things in school because I'm a teacher in social studies and I feel like I should be teaching U.S. geography and all of this current history. And honestly, we should just have the kids come into the classroom and watch the news and then have them be able to talk about it and understand things. But the fact that people are sitting there saying free Rashee Rice when he is responsible for the deaths of other human beings because of his actions.
Not great. Not great.
Their offense looks really good, though. Like, Travis Kelce is back. Engagement looks good on him.
This is why it was even more important that the Broncos won this past weekend.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you still have this distance between the Chiefs and yourself, right? Chargers, you keep pace with them because they won as well. And, look, we don't even talk about the Raiders. The Raiders are so unbelievably cheeks. They beat the next worst team in football. The Tennessee Titans. and that's why they don't have the coach. Geno Smith, you're getting paid all that money for 7 picks in one football game. That's a great investment. I'm sure Raiders fans. I
still sit here, and I had a week where I lost to Geno Smith as the opposing fantasy quarterback, even with the 2 interceptions that he threw.
Yeah, this AFC AFC is unbelievably stacked compared to the NFC. I can confidently say that. I mean, like we said it going into.
You asked me who the best team in the NFL was. Who's the best team in the NFC?
The AFC. Excuse me.
I'm asking you. Who do you think is the best team?
It's Tampa Bay. NFC is Tampa Bay. AFC. Do you know who the top 4 seeds are?
Indianapolis would be one.
Yep.
Pittsburgh is another one.
New England, Pittsburgh. And the Chargers.
Yeah.
Who had that on their bingo card? Right?
It sounds eerily like 2005.
Yeah, it does.
It kind of sounds eerily like 2000. Oh, almost a touchdown right away for
the Steelers.
It does.
It's very It's very crazy. It's crazy how much disparity in the NFL this year, and frankly, teams that are supposed to be good are falling apart slowly. It's as open as, like I said, we could the Broncos could very well win a playoff game this year and also miss it.
I didn't get to have that conversation with you because that was the conversation I heard a ton after last Thursday. But do you take a little bit out of the Broncos win over the Eagles with what they did against the Giants on Thursday Night Football?
I think yes, but I would say yes, but I would also say it's the Super Bowl champs on the road. I think two things can be true. One, that defeats the loss a little bit, but two, it's also the defending champs on the road that you beat. Like it doesn't it takes a little bit away, but at the same time, I'm sitting here and I'm like, it's still a good win. It's still the biggest win of Bo Nix's career. I can't. Like I said, we beat the Super Bowl. It's the biggest win of New York's year too. And I don't think it goes to show that Eagles are bad. I think the Giants are just frisky. I don't know. They're a fun football team. They are a very fun football team for a lot of reasons. And like I said, Daboll. Have you seen this dude smile as much as he has this season? He's been the coach for 3 years now. 3 years, 2 years.
I think it's 3 years. Yeah.
Third year now. Has he smiled ever this much before? I swear I've never seen him smile this much.
I don't think that there was at the beginning, there wasn't a ton of difference between Daniel Jones and Jackson Dart or anything like that. But Jackson Dart might be a Jedi. He might be a Sith Lord.
Yeah. I think the difference is that Jackson Dart is Daboll's guy.
He is Daboll's guy.
I think that's the difference.
We need to make sure that if he does have a concussion, keep him in concussion protocol. We can't be pulling this guy. Scadaboo's already going to be – the Giants right now are auditioning for face of the next wave of brain trauma with the way that Scadaboo likes to run and the way that they're pulling Jackson Dart out of a very serious situation or what looked like a very serious situation.
Because they can't deal with Russ for more than 2 plays. Tell me why Jameis Winston isn't the backup. Are they trying to trade him? Is that what they're trying? They're actively trying to trade him and have him healthy so he doesn't get injured to get something back for him. Is that why they don't play him as the backup? He hates Russ. I don't think there's a guy that despises a guy more that he signed in the offseason than Daboll with Russ.
I truly don't understand.
Highly illegal to walk into that tent and say, "Are we good? I need him out there." Highly illegal.
Now. Do it now. I need him in now. Thank you very much. Not later. Now.
The memes are even funnier because I'll shout out AI for the memes because the memes of Daboll walking into the tent and people are like, I can't deal with this fucker out here. I need you right now. I don't care. I can't have the Rusty out there. I'm praying every second that who are they playing? I'm praying that Jalen Carter takes Russ's head off so that I have forced to play our third-string quarterback in Jameis Winston. I can't do this. Please go out there.
It's the old varsity blues. Hey, Jackson, man's holding up some fingers. True or false?
And then the guy behind him tapping him on the two for yes, 3 for no.
I think I'm okay. Yeah, I think you're okay too. I think you're okay to walk out there, buddy. We're facing that way. Your helmet goes on with a face mask on the front side, not the back side.
I don't understand this, and maybe because it was the guy's size. How is Scadaboo a third-round pick or whatever he was? Like he was the third or fourth running back taken. Running back taken. We had a chance to take him, or maybe he was gone by Harvey. I can't remember. He might have been gone by Harvey.
Harvey was a second-round pick, I thought.
No, Harvey was a third-rounder.
Who was the second-round pick?
Oh, my gosh, who was it? Maybe it was the second round. I can't remember. Oh, my gosh. Wow, why am I blanking?
Harvey was a second-round pick, so he was available when Harvey was available.
He was, yeah. I don't know how people slept on Scadaboo. I don't know how you sat there and watched the Arizona State tape and said, this guy's not going to be able to do this in the league.
I don't know how long he'll be able to do it, but he's going
to have a shelf life. He's going to have a shelf life, but for 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah. No,
he's the most exciting running back in the NFL right now.
But it's also a belief in it's a confidence thing. It's a confidence thing because they haven't had confidence like that in that building for a long time. And he walked into the league, and Jackson Dart walked into the league thinking, my shit. We say that.
Because I think this is a conversation to have. Is it confidence or blindness?
I
Because
think
Dart and Scadaboo walked in there being like, we don't know what the culture was like. We don't know what was going on. We're stepping in blind of what's going on the outside. We're coming in and creating.
You don't think that they were told when they were brought in, like,
I mean,
hey, we have zero idea of what this team is supposed to be. So whatever you guys feel like would be the best. Honestly, Jackson Dart was a captain at Ole Miss who went from middle of the road SEC program to Lane Kiffin, putting them in a little bit more high profile of a position. You had Cam Scadaboo, who was the heart and soul and team captain of Arizona State, who we all remember what they did last year, where they went from nothing.
Dragged the program to the college football playoff, by the way.
Flacco got sacked for the first time tonight.
Because look at what the Arizona State Sun Devils are doing without him now.
Yeah,
they're the laughing stock of the Big 12 again.
So it's two guys that have done this already, and that's what I think I said about the Broncos draft over the last few years, because I know that they've been drafting a lot more of former team captains, and when teams do that, I think that it works out way better for them. But when you bring in guys that have been in situations like this in college, yes, it would be nice to draft all Georgia and Alabama players. But if you draft a guy that was at Kentucky that got them from 3-7 to 6-6, or whatever the math is going to be to work out with that, that's actually probably better for your program moving forward.
If it's not this all-world talent like the first or second round, then yes, absolutely. And I think when Dable drafted Jackson Dart, I think in the conversation said, "This is your team." I think that was it. He was like, "We don't." He probably was like this. Look, my job's on the line. GM's job is on the line. Frankly, we don't know if you're going to be a starting quarterback or not, but we don't have a culture here, and we trust in you, and we trust in 44, that little fucking meathead over there, to bring this team back to relevancy, and they have just done that. They have done just that. Like I said, it's as a guy that has no rooting interest for the Giants, because we only play them once every 5 years or whatever it is. Like, it's fun to see this team like this. It really is. And like I said, Scadaboo is so much fun to watch. The dude is just a hard runner. Who knows how long it'll last for. But the guy is such an exciting runner. And Jackson Dart has really taken the next step. And the defense also that's been very, very good too. So the Giants all of a sudden are frisky again.
I think that it's a much different matchup than what you were thinking about coming back from London initially. But I think that it's good too, because you needed – if this was a letdown spot in London, coming back to a letdown spot against the Giants, I feel like that's worse.
I thought a couple of things are going to be true. One, your international games, weird things happen. Like, weird things happen all the time. And
I go back to, again, this matchup between the Jets and the Broncos the last 3 times, the fourth time being the random blowout that the Jets had against the Broncos where they whooped the shit out of them in New York. But other than that, these teams always play ugly-ass 16-13, 12-11, 11-13 games. It's gross. You just got to deal with it.
Exactly. It's very disgusting. You can't do anything about it. I mean, like I said, I think going into this Giants football game and I think it's a must-win. I don't know. I know it's weird saying it's a must-win sitting at 4-2, but with how the Chiefs are playing, how the Chargers are playing, you have to keep pace. You have to keep pace. That red line of the wild card teams, it's crazy. There is I think 7 4-2 football teams, and the rest are 2-3 in the AFC. It's the craziest statistics that I've ever seen. So if you want to make sure you stay above the pack and keep winding your way out and making sure that you're at least a wild card team going into the postseason, you need to continue to win games that you should win. Like you said, you should have beat the Jets, which you did. You should, on paper, beat the Giants, which we'll see what happens.
It'll be very interesting. We'll get to I don't know if we'll talk about that one specifically, because I don't think it was either of our picks, but we'll talk a little bit about how we feel about that one. Brian Callahan is the first of the NFL coaches to fall this season. He is fired after a year and a half as the Tennessee head coach. In the same, I think maybe this is to counteract the revenge spot that this is, because I don't know if you realize this, but this is the week Mike Vrabel comes back to Tennessee with. I still don't understand why Tennessee moved on from him as head coach. It boggles the mind. It makes absolute. I listened to
why they traded AJ Brown.
There's a lot of things that they probably have that they're trying to exercise and those kinds of things. But Brian Callahan fired. Tennessee how is this going to affect Cam Ward? Because that's the biggest thing everybody's talking about. We haven't seen this much except over, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young have been very recent examples. But a coach fired in your rookie season doesn't always do the best thing for your number one overall draft pick.
It hurts the guy more than it helps. Like consistency. Like look at the quarterbacks that have had success, right? Like look at the guys that walked in with success and good coaching. Bo Nix, he's been in the playoffs. Obviously, Sean Payton, for all his faults, is still a good coach and knows how to try to put a rookie quarterback in a position to win. Jane Daniels gets what's the guy's name? Oh my gosh, what's the bald guy's name from Washington? Jimmy, help me out here. Oh my gosh,
which one?
The head coach for what? The Commanders.
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn gets Dan Quinn, who's won Super Bowls with the Seahawks, been to a Super Bowl with a couple teams as well, Falcons too. Like a guy that's a good coach and gets a quarterback gets a good coach, right? Like a quarterback coach relationship is probably the most important relationship on the field, in terms of a rookie quarterback, in terms of a young guy, right? Like as much fault as we give oh my gosh, why am I blanking on coaches' names? Joe Burrow and the coach in Cincinnati. He had still he was around.
Nico, you know who the quarterback coach was in Joe Burrow's rookie season?
It was Callahan.
It was Brian Callahan.
I don't care.
So that's why this was the situation. It wasn't like anybody was blindsided into this.
Because Joe Burrow.
It's why he got a job. It's why they drafted Cam Ward. They were just supposed to be better by this point of the season. That's the hard and fast truth of it. I feel like as bad as they were probably expecting to be, they didn't expect to be this bad, where your only win is when the Cardinals literally throw the ball towards the goal line that causes you to score.
Yeah, they are in a situation where Tennessee is in the dumps, and especially in division with Houston, Jacksonville, and Indianapolis that is playing very, very good football, all three teams. All three of them. Houston is back on track. Indianapolis is obviously one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Jacksonville has, outside that loss last week, has been very, very good. They're struggling to fall behind every single week, and I think you are a product of your placement also, and that's why like a Kyler Murray hasn't done well in Arizona. That's why you could go down the list. Why Cam Ward's not doing well in Tennessee? Like there's a lot of guys that are just in bad situations that, frankly, Bryce Young in Carolina, that frankly just get tossed around coaches and tossed around coordinators. That this head coaching hire for Tennessee is the most important hire in their franchise's history. If they want to believe that Cam Ward is going to be the guy going forward, if they want to believe that he could be turned into Jane Daniels, turned into Cam Newton of some sorts, they need the most important quarterback or coach hire in their team's history, and they got to take a big swing. They got to go after a big swing.
I think that they're going to be scouring things. Do you think that there's a possibility of a college guy being brought up, or is this a job that has to be taken over by somebody that's already
who would the college guy to be? Rule? I think Rule, you can throw in that conversation.
I guess Rule.
Maybe Franklin.
Possibly Franklin.
Maybe.
I was thinking possibly Heupel because it's Tennessee and Tennessee. Like
True.
you get to keep that same, because Vols fans are Titans fans, so maybe you keep the same.
Bill.
Hey, but by the way, the rumors about him, I got to do my, I got to get my voice all. I got to bring my character down. The rumors about me leaving North Carolina are categorically false. They are categorically false.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that.
I don't think that they're that categorically false. If you have to say categorically false,
false multiple times. Yeah, Bill could. I mean, I don't think the Tennessee wants to deal with Bill more than Bill wants to deal with Tennessee.
No. Josh McDaniels.
Oh my God, I don't know if a third team will bite. Well, like
it'd be another team in the AFC South. He's already left the Colts.
There's been three teams that he's just fucked. Yeah. He's fucked us, the Broncos. Fucked the Raiders, which I love saying, by the way. F the Raiders. And absolutely hosed the Indianapolis Colts when he said, "I'm coming, but I'm not."
Gotta be quicker than that. Yeah, you gotta be quicker. with this game coming up against, is the Broncos in your pick'em? I didn't see them.
No.
Yeah. So with this game coming up this weekend, because we talked about my game, and as we're finishing this recording, so when it's going live, we'll be able to catch people up with my reactions because I can't help it. But it's about 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Steelers are up 7-0. With this game coming up on Sunday, it is a much bigger matchup than I think both of us anticipated. What I think people are failing to realize, because we are in an offensive-driven society, so everybody is focusing on Scattaboo and Jackson Dart and what they're going to be able to do and all this fun that they're having. I don't know if you're on the same edit side as I am on TikTok, but I'm getting a lot of the Halloween edits. I'm getting a lot of the damn it edits, and that is like the Broncos defense. This Broncos defense is going to – I deliberately – Nico, I have Jackson Dart. I've started Jackson Dart the last 3 weeks in fantasy football, and he scored me about 25 points a week. Before anything, as soon as the rosters opened up for this week on Tuesday, the first thing that I did? I put Aaron Rodgers in Jackson Dart's spot because I'm like, you're going against the Broncos defense. You're going up against Michael Myers. You're going up against Jason Voorhees. I'm not – you don't have sex in the horror movie. That is a sure way to get yourself killed. Don't play the quarterback that's playing against the Broncos defense right now.
This defensive line between Allen, Cooper, Bonito,
John Franklin Myers, Bonito.
They need a nickname like the Fly Zone. I've heard the Mile High Maulers. I've heard the Mafia. I've heard a lot of different things.
I'll think of something by the end of the show. I'm going to come up with something because I nicknamed the defensive line in San Antonio the Southwest Sack Exchange, which I'm very proud of. So I'll come up with something for the Broncos. But
there has to be something because these guys take their lunch money every single week.
The Altitude Assassins.
That's not bad. This defense, it's going to be a defensive heavy game. The problem is I have confidence that the Denver Broncos will hold the Giants under 20 points. I do not have confidence in this offense scoring more than 20 points. That's the biggest problem.
Even at home, at home in the DT dedication game.
That's the situation here. It was I was going to bring up was the Super Bowl 50 team will be there. Louis will be in town. Peyton will be there. Cortland Sutton has been talking about DT all week. It's DT going to the Ring of Fame, all that, and I think this is a opportunity for the defense to show the Super Bowl 50 defense that we're just as good. I think it's a golden opportunity. I want
to ask you about that too. I want to ask you. It's a different defense entirely from that defense.
It's way different.
Because
that defense,
as good as that defense was, they didn't have the interior defensive line that this defense
they had better middle linebacker play. They had
middle linebackers, and I think better overall corner play.
Overall secondary. I wouldn't say corner.
Secondary. Because TJ Ward, Chris Harris Jr., Aqib Talib were
and
Bradley Roby.
I don't think it's a hot take anymore. I think Pat Surtain is the best corner from both those teams, and he's won Defensive Player of the Year, so I think he deserves to be in the conversation of the best corner out of Talib and Harris and all them, which I think is a fair comparison.
That's very obvious. I just think that Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware are better than Cooper and Bonito.
I think Bonito has an argument over being better than DeMarcus Ware at that point in his career.
Jonathan Cooper's nowhere near Vaughn. I was using Bonito for the Vaughn comparison. I was using Cooper for the DeMarcus comparison.
I know. I'm just saying. Well, Cooper was Defensive Player of the Week this year. He had 4 sacks alone.
It's also a later round draft pick that has turned himself into a bona fide
Cooper and Bonito, both late round picks.
But that's what Jonathan Cooper's a 7th round pick. He's a 7th round diamond in the rough pick,
and that's a guy that's going to have to walk, unfortunately, because of everything else.
He's already been paid.
No,
it
was John Franklin Myers and Zach Allen, I think.
It's Cooper. John Franklin Myers is the one that's going to be gone. It's Cooper. I know for a fact it's Cooper. It's Bonito. Those guys. Those
guys have been incredible. I think Bonito at this point in his career was better than DeMarcus Ware at that point when they won the Super Bowl, and I don't think that's putting it lightly. Obviously, Vaughn was a different animal, and frankly, Bonito is the same kind of
pass rusher.
He's on that trajectory.
I think that he has a better first step off the football, which is something that I didn't. No, but
Vaughn's first step. I remember watching Vaughn be behind the offensive left tackle multiple times. The get off for Bonito's get off is great. I'm not downplaying that at all. But prime Von Miller's get off game, he was in the backfield before the quarterbacks could say hut. Like that's how good he was with his get-offs.
That's about where Nick Bonito is right now. Nick Bonito is putting up a case this season, and I'm about to show one from last season, but this season he's putting up a case.
Von Miller did that every game, though, every play.
But not right away. Remember, Vaughn had those few seasons where he had to figure
the run game or quarterback run game.
That first step off the line was faster than what anybody did.
I was there when that happened.
On the field.
I trust me. I was there when that happened. I know what happened. But I was also there firsthand to watch Von Miller make a fool of every left tackle in football. And I understand we're not arguing age right now. We're not arguing. I'm saying Von Miller during that 2015 Super Bowl run, which is prime, and right now this is Nick Bonito's prime. It could get better. We don't know. Obviously, we hope it gets better. Right now, Von Miller's get off makes Bonito look like he's still off the ball. And that's no slight to Bonito. That's how good Vaughn was. And people just are giving Vaughn all this crap because he's been nothing the last handful of years. Prime Von Miller is one of 5 players in NFL history to win MVP of the Super Bowl as a defensive player. 58 years, 59 years we're at now? 59, 60 almost. I think it's the 60th year. I don't know. 60 years. 5 guys. I don't even, it may not be 5. Maybe it's 6. It's right around there. 5 guys have won defensive MVP of the Super Bowl. And Von Miller is one of them. That's how good this guy was. He made the best left tackles in football move conferences. Move conferences. And Bonito is on that trajectory, and doing so much better. But like I said, I think this defense has a great opportunity to prove why they are just as good, if not better. I'm not saying they're better, but they have a chance to show it right in front of them because there's a possible chance that 57 steps into the lineup as well. And that we get to see Dre Greenlaw in middle linebacker position. He's been activated off IR, which is going to be huge and slowing down the meathead in 40 Cam Scatterbo over there. It's almost needed.
Nico, Alex Singleton's the best player to play against Cam Scatterbo because if you're going to find somebody to meet you in every single hole, now can he tackle him? Who knows? But he's going to be in the hole. He's going to be in the hole.
And Justice Sternad has taken over the one middle linebacker role, and he's been much better than Singleton. He's been great downhill, and much better in the passing game. Like Singleton is a good tackler. He is not fast enough. His knees, ankles, everything gives out so quickly. It's absolutely insane.
You're sounding like my TikTok For You page right now.
Did
you wake up with back pain and neck pain and knee pain all at once?
So like I said,
I did.
The addition of Greenlaw is going to negate a couple things. One, Sternad could be the passing game middle linebacker, which he basically is already. Then you could throw a Greenlaw who will be the downhill crusher. And then you have your two-headed monster middle linebacker, and you're set, right? I don't know if he'll be good go this weekend. I'd be surprised, honestly, if he plays this weekend. I would lean towards he's not, and he's getting healthy back. But if adding Greenlaw to this defense, fully healthy, which he won't be this season, it seems like, could make this defense one of the best of all time. And again, I cannot emphasize enough. Give me a half competent offense, and this team wins a Super Bowl. That Broncos team had as bad of an offense as we do right now, but they were competent because Peyton Manning was at the helm. And like I said, if you have a competent offense with the elite of elite defenses, you can win Super Bowls.
No, this weekend reminded me of that Minnesota game in 2015 where Teddy Two Gloves was there in Denver, almost was able to get the Vikings to beat the Broncos, but it was the defense that came up with huge sacks at the time where you're like, damn, it'd be awesome to get a sack right now, and the defense just did it. It wasn't even like a question. No, I think that this weekend is a much bigger game than what we were expecting for the Broncos, and I'm glad for it because they need these big games to continue to keep themselves on the path. They're a team that you need to keep focused. They're like a kid that's super smart, but he has ADHD. Like, focus right here. Stay here.
It's a kid that has ADHD and thinks he has ADHDs. Televisions in his house.
I don't know what the doctor said about those, but I got 80 of them bitches.
That's what the Broncos team's like.
Let's quickly move away from football. Let's talk a little bit about baseball. The NLCS is the one that's happening currently. The Dodgers are up 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th over the Brewers. The Brewers.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, here's the sad thing. It's proving to the rest of the MLB, if you're going to build these low market teams that are built on a budget, when you come up against the Dodgers that can pay all of God's money and more, doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter what you do.
And frankly, we are a Toronto Blue Jay or Seattle Mariners miracle from the season being locked down in 2027. And for those that aren't aware, CBA for the MLB is up in 2027. If you think for 1 second that if the Dodgers win 3 World Series in a row and dominate their way through because they can just sign everybody, isn't going to change the landscape of baseball, it will do it in a heartbeat. They're already thinking that if the Brewers can't win this, it's going to change everything. I'll go a step further. If the Blue Jays or the Mariners, I'll even go. The Blue Jays have a lot of great talent. The Mariners, the little engine that is just built on homegrown talent, if they can't beat the Dodgers in the World Series, baseball is in dead trouble. Very, very, very big trouble. We will never, unless things change, we will never see a 2007 Rockies World Series similar run. We will never see that again. We will never see a Tampa Bay Rays run in the bubble ever again. We will never see any of those type of miracle runs for teams that have homegrown talent, that have a chance of winning a World Series, but lose to a bigger team. We will never see that again. It'll be the Dodgers versus the Yankees, or Dodgers versus the Red Sox over and over and over again. And frankly, the MLB could care less because it'll bring in viewers. And that's why baseball is becoming the fourth sport.
It's doing what you wish it wouldn't do. If you're a baseball fan, you don't want Manfred's being a realist at this point. He's like, oh, well, the 90s and the early 2000s when everybody was on steroids was as good as baseball's going to get. That's as much money as we're ever going to make. So we're not going to try and figure out a new way to make that much money. We're just going to rest on those laurels, and we'll just do whatever we have the ability to do. And now it's got to be taken over. They're devolving. Not evolving, devolving. They're devolving back into what the NHL used to be, where it's the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins, and it's literally 3 teams that can pay the payroll in order to do these things. They don't care about national broadcasting rights because it's more of a regional sport anyways. They give a shit about the 82 home games that they get every single season. But outside of that, as a baseball manager, you barely even have to do shit. As long as you have good food at your concession stand, you have enough seats, you keep everything clean, like you're gonna make money. So why be good? That's my question. Like, as the Rockies ownership, why be good?
I know we live in a state where the Rockies are the secondhand embarrassment of the state, right? Like if you live in the state of Colorado, you're like, oh, I'm a Broncos fan, oh, I'm a Nuggets fan, I'm an Avs fan. You're like, oh yeah, I also have a Rockies jersey in the closet that I wear once every 3 years. That's how the conversation goes. If you are a baseball franchise with a bigger market team that is halfway successful, your baseball team's not good. Why do you care? Why do you care? If you're the Miami Marlins, if you're in Miami, why do you care about the Miami Marlins right now? I understand that the Dolphins aren't very good right now, but the Heat are good. The Panthers are good. Why would I care about the Marlins right now? Right? Or not even Oakland anymore. Minnesota Twins, right? Good team. Had a couple great years there, right? Why, if I live in the state of Minnesota, why would I be tuning into a Twins game when I could be watching the Vikings, who have been in the playoffs the last couple of years, the Timberwolves, who have been in a couple of conference finals? Like, why do I care?
One team already, Nico, the Tampa Bay, the Rays. Remember when the Rays were in the World Series? That was the years that the Lightning were winning back-to-back Stanley Cups.
Mm-hmm. And frankly,
Tom Brady was with the Bucks.
People still didn't care about that team.
No, they didn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, that was the Tampa Bay team that you already gave as the example. The MLB it's so far behind.
Shooting itself in the foot every single year. It's Plaxico Burress saying himself in the club every single year. For those that don't know the example, look it up. Like they just. I'm trying to be a baseball fan. I'll be honest with you. That's why I'm like halfway a Padres fan, because I'm like, oh, I get to go to a Padres game every year when I travel to San Diego for work, right? Like, oh, I'll be a team because I can go to a game. I'm trying to be, but at the same time, I'm looking at the app and I'm like, okay, how do I watch the Padres game today? Okay, well, can't watch it unless I have Apple TV, which is $60, $70 a month. Which, by the way, Apple TV doesn't get it normally. You have to get MLB Pass to watch it. So why would I do that? Right? It's like, oh, I'll watch Rockies. Oh, wait, I don't get it because Moose Sports isn't on DirecTV or on YouTube TV or on anything else. So I have to buy Apple TV to even buy that, and I'll even get blackouts because of that. It's shot itself in the foot. I am begging. Seriously, when's the last time you've watched Rockies on TV? Dead question. Serious.
Never. I'm
serious.
Not in the last 3 years, honestly.
Not since we've traded Arenado.
No.
Right? Like I have not watched a Rockies game on television. I couldn't tell you who the announcer.
I haven't tried to get home even to watch half of a Rockies game in 6 years.
Jimmy, middle of the summer, am I going to throw on a Rockies game against the Minnesota Twins on Tuesday night, or am I going to throw on a movie or a new TV show or something?
You're going to watch season 3 of Yellowstone again. You're not going to turn on the Rockies.
No, it's not. Like I said, like I said, it's a sport that has the opportunity because it has the stars, has the funnest part of the game where guys can pimp home runs, but they just suck the life out of it every single year.
Just to keep everybody up to date, so as we're sitting here, top of the ninth, I think it's fair to say the Dodgers probably going to go up 3-0 in the NLCS. In the ALCS, the Mariners shocked everybody because the Mariners had to go into 15 innings to win the divisional series, and then everybody was just expected game 1 against Toronto to be a throwaway, and they won. Not only did they win that game, they won the first 2 games in Toronto. The Blue Jays pounded them when they came back to Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, so that ALCS is 2-1. You're right, the Jays are good, and by the way, I'm saying the Jays specifically because if you're a member of the Blue Jays fan section, they don't call themselves the Blue Jays, they're just the Jays. I think they're trying to keep themselves away from the Maple Leafs as far as possible, so they're not the Maple Leafs, they're just they're not the Blue Jays, they're just the Jays. They don't want to be associated with that.
I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me, but I guess
it's the first time that they're in the ALCS since 1993-94 when they won back-to-back World Series, by the way. So, do you see the dumper? I think I actually have this back. No, I do have this right. Do you think the dumper is able to get those extra 2 wins and move on to the World Series? Do we see Cal Raleigh and the Mariners in the World Series for the first time since the early 90s?
The Mariners are a fun team. They have great pitching, right? They have really good pitching. They're getting offensive production from lots of different players, like they're getting from Jorge Polanco, like they're getting from the dumper, like they're getting from J-Rod. They're getting production all across the board. The one thing Toronto has going for them is their pitching may not be as good right now as Seattle's, but they can hit the snot out of the ball. They obliterate baseballs. Baseballs are afraid when they see on their schedule that they have to go play they have to be in Toronto, that the box is being shipped to Toronto. They are scared for their lives because what this whole lineup is going to do to the baseball.
Yankees lose.
And we have to look at this 2 ways. One, the Mariners would be the more fun story to win the World Series because the Blue Jays kind of bought a lot of guys, right? They bought Scherzers, they bought all these guys in. Obviously, Vladdy Jr. was a guy they developed. Bought George Springer, like they bought all these guys, and the Mariners really have built it from the ground up. But in terms of who can beat the Dodgers, it's going to be the Blue Jays.
It's only the Blue Jays. That's it.
It's a team that can score 15 runs in the postseason.
Canada versus California. Bring it on.
And the whole country of America is rooting for Canada outside of Los Angeles. It was like when Toronto, the Raptors played the Warriors. It was like no one wanted to see the Warriors win again. Like we wanted Toronto to do it again, and it'd be the exact same thing over again in baseball.
Yeah, I think that the Mariners, I'm interested to see. The only issue with this is I know baseball, and baseball is a streaky sport, and if you go up 2-0 and then you get beat the way that they got beat in Game 3, it almost to me screams like, oh, those are the only 2 games you're going to win this series. I've been in those situations. We've been in those situations with the Avalanche where you win the first 2 games and then all of a sudden you go down and lose the next 4. So as a Mariners fan, I'm hoping that that's not the case. But the Jays, I just need somebody to beat the Dodgers. Whether that's the Brewers, Mariners, and Jays, just no Doyers. No Doyers, por favor. No viva los Doyers.
Give us something. We're begging you.
All right, let's get back into some football. We're doing very well in the Pick'em still.
Both 3-1 this week.
Yeah.
Both very, very good records.
Really solid. And I have the winning percentages up on the board, so I'll throw these up here. Get our picks up on the screen. You want to go first, or you want to force me into going first? Because I kind of made you go first the last 2 weeks.
We can co-talk about the 2 first games.
Oh yeah, no.
The Chiefs and Raiders. The Raiders are the biggest dumpster fire outside the Jets in football and the Titans. They got lucky last week against they faced the Titans. The Chiefs are getting things right very quickly, and they're just going to roll over them.
Yeah,
game.
I think that with Geno, this will be the game where Geno is exposed, and the Chiefs, especially because everybody's been talking about the fact that their defense plays with the lack of effort. This is going to be when they try and prove it to everybody again and show like, oh shit, all right. Because I feel like they've been okay with flying under the radar the last few weeks. This is the week that they try and take that spotlight back because they're just like the gaudy girl in high school. It's like, oh my God, look at me. That's the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's very fitting that Taylor Swift is also the spokesperson for that. Next one, I think it's very simple. The question here is, will it be a new coach gets hired trap game? But then again, it's also the Vrabel revenge game. So
the biggest revenge game of all time. Because not only did your ex-coach go back to his old team, and now he's coming back to kick the shit out of you. You fired the coach that you hired him for.
Yeah. I mean, Patriots have been playing really good. Obviously, their running game with Ramondre Stevenson has been very, very good. They haven't even used Travion Henderson at all. The defense is taking a big step. I still think that Drake May could use one more elite weapon from the receiver position and to really take him to another level. Stephon Diggs is good. I just think he's older now, and they need one guy still.
Keyshawn Booty.
They could use A.J. Brown if the Eagles are shipping him off. They could use a handful of guys that could fit perfectly in the offense.
T. Higgins. I would sacrifice T. Higgins to see what Drake May can do with him.
What would you like in return? Second and Travion Henderson? Like, I don't even know. Like
no, Will Howard. And
so
I would take I would use him to get an offensive lineman right now. That's what I would.
Yeah, that's offensive lineman and maybe a third round pick or something. You probably can't say no to that. I think that the Patriots and the Chiefs just roll over. These are the two of the worst teams in football, the Raiders and Titans. And the Chiefs are trending upwards, obviously, with how well they're playing, and the Patriots have been a red-hot team as of late as well.
No, I agree with everything that you're saying, and I think that the Patriots are a team that needs to be taken seriously. I thought that they were a team that would have, they were serious last year too, but it was just it was a lot that they had to undo from that last season of Bill and with Matt Patricia and Bill O'Brien as co-coordinator. New England was so terrible for like this 18-month stretch that it takes a second to reset it. For my last two games that we did not pick the same, I'm interested, by the way. Touchdown. There we go. That's Jaylen Warren. Damn it. Never mind. The Bears over the Saints is interesting to me because this is Rattlers started to look good. The Saints have started to look good as a team. And yes, the Bears put it together and they got the win 25-24 for the second time. It's, again, the first time in like 80 years that a team has won with the same exact score 2 weeks in a row. But they got a 25-24 win on Monday Night Football against Washington for the second time in a row. But I'm a little bit nervous. I do think that the Bears as a team are better than the Saints as a team. And I think that Ben Johnson is a better coach than Kellen Moore. I've thought that for a long time. So I'm sticking with who I believe is the better coach. And I'm going with the Bears over the Saints. For the last one, the Chargers they just did too much to scare the shit out of me last weekend against the Dolphins. I said it was my last weekend of picking for them if they screwed me, and they nearly screwed me. So now I think the Colts want to prove that they're a good team, and this is a game where the Colts can pick up like a little bit of more of a contender status. So that's why I'm sitting here. I got the Bears over the Saints, and I got the Colts over the Chargers.
I mean, to piggyback, the Bears got a big win over Washington this past weekend. The Bears are figuring out all of a sudden Caleb Williams looks like he's the real deal. And he's playing really, really good football for that team. So, and obviously he's a way better quarterback than Spencer Rattler. It's funny, guy that wasn't starting quarterback at Oklahoma got replaced by Caleb Williams, and now they're playing against each other. One guy was number one pick, and one guy is basically a placeholder for a QB next year that get drafted. And Spencer Rattler. It's crazy how that works. My last two games, I want to talk about this one a little bit more in depth. I have the Falcons over the 49ers, and let me tell you why. You want to hear the San Francisco 49ers injury report? Would you like to hear it?
It's a lot. I know that.
All right. Khalil Davis, hand, limited participation in practice Wednesday, full participation Thursday. Kevin Givens, limited participation, full participation. Renardo Green, cornerback, neck, limited. Yetter Gross-Moss, defensive end, knee, hamstring, did not participate. Juwan James, ankle, rib, shoulder, limited participant. Mac Jones, probably the starting quarterback this week, knee, oblique, limited participant, full participant. So you can have him back. George Kittle, hamstring, limited participant. Christian McCaffrey, not injury related, resting player, did not participate. Full participation. Sky Moore, ankle, did not participate, limited participation. Ricky Pearsall, did not participate. Dominic Pooney, knee, DNP, LP. I'm sorry, I'm trying to go. I'm running out of breath here going through all these names. Brock Purdy, quarterback, toe, limited participant. Upton Stout, shoulder, full. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, calf, did not participate. Fred Warner, ankle, DNP. Out for the year. Jordan Watkins, calf, LP. CJ West, D tackle, thumb, LP, full participation. Michael Williams, thumb, full participation. Last one, Trent Williams, not injury resting player, did not participate, full participation. Sorry, hold on. Let me catch my breath. There were 15 players there. 15 players.
That are limited or injured against a team that beat the Bills by themselves last week.
It may be difficult to name a player that's actually not injured on this team.
Yeah.
Can you name a guy? Give me a couple 49ers names. Give me a couple. Give me some. Like, I'm serious. I don't.
No, I have no.
You can't name one. Trent Williams injured on the injury report. Christian McCaffrey injury report. Both quarterbacks, Mac Jones and Brock Purdy injury report. That's why I took the Falcons. That's all. That's literally the reason why I did it.
I was very close to picking the Falcons because as last Monday night, I was going in with an 18-point lead in fantasy football. Not 18-point. I think it was a 13-point lead in fantasy football. Josh Allen was the quarterback of the team that I was playing against, and the Falcons held him to 11.
Falcons played good.
Ooh.
Did very, very well. Last game I picked, I'm going Green Bay over Arizona. Arizona looks a lot better with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback.
Yeah.
There's conversations.
But also only for that time because you know what Jacoby Brissett's career looks like. He has one game where he looks good.
And really bad after that, which could be a omen to show that it may be time to move on from Kyler. So we'll see. That could be a conversation we have in the offseason. So I'll take Green Bay over the Cardinals.
And when I had too many games in the pick'em that I sent you, that was another game that I also felt very confident in. So I don't have any disagreements with you there. I think Green Bay is on track to make that one hurt because Jacoby Brissett, he's not a starting caliber quarterback. He could have had a chance, but it just never worked out. We talked about it. It's about fit, and he never had the right fit. Player of the week. Who do you got for the best player of the week?
Player of the week, I went Vladdy Jr. Look at these statistics, man. 13 for 28, 464 average in the playoffs. 464. Hold on. 8 runs, 2 doubles, 8 runs, 2 doubles, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. He is on a tear.
Yeah.
On an absolute tear.
I have a picture with one of his home run balls in the All-Star game.
I should have caught that ball. I should have dove, Jimmy.
Should have fought that guy.
The
two of us should have teamed up and fought that guy for the home run.
That's one of my biggest regrets I've ever had at a sporting event is not fight for that ball. That came right for us.
I had to buy a beer for the guy to let me take a picture with the home run ball. So it's a $20 picture at least.
That brat was not worth it. The brat in my hand that was mid-chomp while the ball was flying next to me. That's actually close.
I guess altitude does play a factor into this.
Gosh. One of the biggest mistakes I ever had at a sporting event.
Yeah, it's tough. My player of the week, shout out Jeremy because I texted him. Nobody was rooting harder for Indiana than Jeremy and I because I wanted Indiana to win based off of our conversation last week. And they did, and it was behind this guy, Roman Hemby, over 100 yards or very close to 100 yards total, but 2 touchdowns on the day, 20 carries. He was the heartbeat of this Indiana offense, where if they got into a pinch, they were going to Hemby to get 5 to 6 yards of carry, and let's get this thing moving. Let's get Mendoza in a better spot to go after this team. 30-20. You've upset the number 3 ranked team in the entire country at home, and you go on to do bigger and better things. So Roman Hemby is my player of the week. Bench warmer of the week. I am going to kick things off because we talked about him a little bit earlier on in this show, but my bench warmer is Brent Venables. There's no way that you're not the next coach to get fired in college football. There's no way. Unless you go the rest of the season without winning or without losing. But right now
said that Billy Napier is coaching his last game, so that maybe the next coach. But it's 1A, 1B again.
And they're both in the same conference. But last week, you started the quarterback you shouldn't have started. You lost to Texas again, which is something like we talked about the Michigan-Ohio State game. Texas and Oklahoma feel that way about themselves. So Oklahoma fans having to deal with losing to Texas again, not good for him. Brent Venables, there's more than just defense on the field. You do have to play offense half the game, at least, roughly.
It's crazy. The football is two sides of this ball. It's crazy. My bench warmer of the week, it's the Jets' offensive line. I don't think there is a position group that has gotten on a plane and had a worse game going home for that 8-hour trip back to New York. I don't think there was a team that had it worse. I really don't. That Jets offensive line, hoodies up, try to sleep the whole 8 hours because they didn't want anyone to talk to them. They wanted to stay away from everybody because I don't think you could have had a worse performance than letting up 9 sacks. Your quarterback had less passing yards than Kendall Hinton. Think about that. Kendall Hinton. Remember that name? You and I had this show during that time. Kendall Hinton, great quarterback for the Denver Broncos. One of the revolving names had 9 net passing yards. That's nearly double of what Justin Fields had this weekend. Think about that.
It's hard to understand. It's hard to watch. The Jets' offensive line was terrible, and I'm a Bengals fan. I'm sitting here in a Bengals hat watching this Thursday night game, and Joe Flacco's under a lot of duress. He is moving though. He's doing those quick steps, throw the ball away. Quick steps, throw the ball away. Who do you got for play of the week? What do you have for play of the week?
I'm just going to go the walk-off the Seattle Mariners in that 13-inning masterpiece. I believe it was Jorge Polanco, again, with the single to right field to send the Mariners to LCS over Detroit. It was a great game for those that were watching that Saturday night. And to get that single to advance your team and in a 13-inning game, like do-or-die game, 5 was incredible. So that was my play of the week.
I think my play of the week is the fact that Lincoln Riley got his Big Ten win finally and upset Michigan at home, and now we'll see if USC is able to do it again. But Michigan thought they were going to be the bully, and Sharon Moore had a lot of pointed words towards Lincoln Riley.
Is on the next hottest seat outside the guys we named today.
I was trying to argue with you last week, but after last week, no, that is true right now. So Lincoln Riley gets my play of the week for dominating Michigan the way that Michigan thinks they dominate everybody else. Anything else before I'm going to go.
Happy birthday, Jimmy P. Happy birthday, Jimmy P. I hope the Bengals can at least give you a fighting chance to something to hope for. And like I said, I appreciate you and all you do. And like I said, I hope you had a great birthday and got to spend time with the girl and spend time with the family and enjoy the week. Because like I said, it's not you have fall break right now, so you get to enjoy a birthday week and enjoy it entirely. So I hope you're enjoying it, brother.
It's great because it's always fall break. That's the best thing. No, I appreciate it. And everybody can support the birthday by going and following, subscribing, checking out the new videos, everything that we're doing.
Give us hype points. Don't know how you do that yet, but do it on YouTube.
First like on the video gets confetti if they hit the button. So make sure that you're the first like and make sure that you let us know that you're subscribed and everything like that. Make sure at FEOTB Pod is followed, subscribe to the YouTube channel, continue to support, check out all the videos for everything like that. Myself, Jimmy Pilato, my co-host, Nico Bryant, episode 252 of the Far End of the Bench podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.